Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this is kind of neat. We're going to take a quick look at these. But we got this Retro Revival Multicart Collection. These are pretty cool. So we've got a handful of carts for the Super Nintendo and then one cart for the NES. So these are officially licensed by Data East and Jaleco. A lot of cool games, some interesting ones, some that, I've never even really heard of, I think. Now, when you think of these old school systems, Super Nintendo, NES, maybe these two companies don't immediately pop in your head. At least for me, Data East does quite a bit. Jaleco, not as much, but both of the companies did make some sweet games that I really loved back in the day, and a bunch of them that I didn't really care for or weren't really exposed to. But with all this retro madness going around, especially with people getting into, having old school systems, clone systems, to play cartridges, it's a market that is thriving and it's just not going to stop. And I think this kind of stuff is kind of cool. People are getting a little tired of all the clone systems coming out, and I kind of don't blame them. There's some high quality ones though, like that Super NT by Analog. That's pretty sweet. Might be checking out a couple other HD Super Nintendos as well before then, because that's not until February. But there's some solid HD NES systems, the AVS. And a couple of the cheaper clones aren't too bad. They're not without their issues. But hey, a lot of people are getting into this despite being able to play these games through emulation on the RetroPie or on their PC or whatever. A lot of people still love cartridges, myself included. I have a nice healthy collection of carts, and I do plan on adding at least a couple of these to it. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at what these are and what's included. Let's get this party started. So here we go, the Retro Revival. These are all being published by Retrobit. Now Retrobit, they're hit and miss for me, to be honest, with their hardware anyway. I do like a lot of their controllers. I think they've smashed it with a lot of the controllers they've been putting out, especially lately. Some of their systems, they're plug and play, Retrobit Generations, and then whatever the new one is, I don't know, I might check out the new one. The previous one was an okay effort, but just did not deliver what people hoped for, with some shoddy emulation and whatnot. But they're pretty well known for their clone systems, and now they're putting out cartridges. They did announce a long while back, I think in the beginning of the year, that they were going to be doing some multi-carts, one for the Super Nintendo, one for the NES, and then one for the Game Boy. I don't know whatever came of that, because some of the games that were on those, and each one of those cartridges were supposed to have quite a bit more games than these have. And they were going to retail for a little cheaper than what these are going for. So I don't know whatever happened with that. But these cartridges do have some of those games and then some new ones. And I think these are pretty cool collections. So Retrobit's publishing these classic games, and they come with some collectibles. So the Data East All-Star Collection, you got Ring King, Bad Dudes, Side Pocket Burger Time, and Buggy Popper. So that's for the NES. That's going to be pretty cool. Bad Dudes is one of my all-time favorite arcade games. One of them, maybe not the top, but it's definitely one of them for me. Always dug Bad Dudes. Some people may disagree, because it is kind of it's a difficult game in a sense, and it's a little wonky, but for some reason I really dug it. We all have that one game that's not necessarily popular, but we dug it, and not everybody else did. There is a big following for that game though, but it's not the best. I love it for some reason. Then you got Burger Time on there. That's an awesome one. Side Pocket and Ring King, I've also played those. I think that's a pretty nice little collection. And then the Data East Classic Collection. So the first one was the All-Star Collection. Those are the All-Stars. Classic Collection. This is for the Super Nintendo. You're getting Fighter's History, Mizoguchi, Magical Drop 2, and Super Side Pocket. This one I may pass up on because of the double dipping. Some things are kind of cool. You have a collection of, say, Street Fighters or something, and that's a little different. But these fighting games and puzzle games, I don't really care to have part 1 and part 2. Like, give me whatever's the more well received one, and then throw a couple extra games on, not necessarily extra, but keep it to the 5 games and give us a little more variety for a classic collection. I don't know. I'm on the edge on that one. And then the one that I think a lot of people are going to want is the Data East Joe and Mac Ultimate Caveman Collection. So this is also for the Super NES. You're getting Joe and Mac, Congo's Caper, and Joe and Mac 2 Lost in the Tropics. Now, I've never played Congo's Caper, but I have played Joe and Mac, both 1 and 2, and they were games that I really dug and I think are solid games to have on a multi-cart. So that's definitely one I'm going to be keeping. Next one is the Jaleco Brawlers Pack. So you're getting Rival Turf, Brawl Brothers, the Peacekeepers, and Tough Enough. I know I've played Rival Turf and I know I have played Tough Enough. So these are all like side-scrolling beat-em-ups in the vein of Final Fight, stuff like that. This one might be kind of solid. I'm not 100%. I'm going to look into these games a little more before I keep my pre-order. I have pre-ordered all of these games, but I'm really, for sure, I'm going to get the Data East NES collection and then the Joe and Mac Caveman collection for the Super Nintendo. So I think that's pretty sweet. So we can go ahead and take a look at what comes in the box with these things. So everything is going to be coming in a retail box, custom cartridges. So this is the NES, the All-Star Data East collection. Pretty sweet. Full color instruction manual. Really dig the manuals. Hope these are pretty solid. They're going to be full color, so they should be pretty sweet. Original sticker collections. You know, to each their own on the stickers. I don't really care. It's a neat little, add-on, I guess. Some people might use them for something. Maybe throw them on your bar top or arcade stick. I don't know. It could come in handy for something to liven it up anyway. Get a little jazz it up. And then some buttons. Nice. So you're getting a little Ring King Hug It Out button and a little Burger Time button. So that's kind of neat that you get some extras. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I just don't see myself using any of that stuff. But I still think it's neat that they're being thrown in there. So here's the Data East Classic Collection for the Super NES. Boom, same thing. You get an instruction manual. Retail box. You get the dust cover on that bad boy. That's pretty nice. Little collection of stickers, little side pocket and a magical drop sticker, and then a couple buttons. So you're getting a fighter's history button and a magical drop button. That looks kind of cool, the little magical drop button. Like I said, cool little bonuses. I won't do nothing with them, but I think they're still kind of neat. And then here's the Brawlers Pack, Like a Boss. Hey punk, are you tough enough? That's what I'm talking about. And then a button that says, hey punk, are you tough enough? That's kind of cool. So this collection, I'm leaning towards getting it, but like I said, I want to dig into it a little more, double check some of those games before I keep my pre-order. And then here's the prize, I think, as far as this collection goes, is the Joe and Mac Ultimate Caveman Collection. Joe and Mac, Congo's Caper, and Joe and Mac 2, so pretty cool. I like the way the box looks. A little manual, you get your little button set, Joe and Mac, Joe and Mac, Joe and Mac, Joe and Mac, nice. And then a Tyrannosaurus giant. It's a big sticker, it looks like. Original collectible sticker. So you only get one sticker. What? So I think that's pretty neat, though. I can't wait to check these out. All pretty cool stuff. So, like I said, these are available for pre-order now. They retail for $34.99 for the Super Nintendo cartridges and then $29.99 for the NES cartridge. They're available for pre-order on Amazon. Link will be in the description if you want to peep these out. I have pre-ordered all 4 of these, but I'm still kind of, I don't know. I know for sure Joe and Mac, and I know for sure the NES collection I'm going to keep on the edge with these other 2, especially the Data East collection with the double dipping there. I don't know, maybe. Could be kind of neat, but I don't know what the production run's going to be on these, if they're going to mass produce them or they're only going to be available for a short while. I don't know, so I don't necessarily see these things increasing in value, but you never know. I buy games to play them. I don't necessarily buy them for value, so I think these are kind of neat. What do you guys think? I mean, hopefully these don't blow up our systems like that Street Fighter cart. Hopefully you don't have to have a fire extinguisher nearby. So I still think this is kind of cool. I hope this tradition, or I don't even know if it's tradition, but this trend keeps continuing. I would like to see some solid collections being put out there. Retrobit, like I said, hit and miss for me with certain things. A lot of people do dig their clone consoles. Some people don't. They are working on some HD stuff, so keep an eye out for that as far as Super Nintendo goes. Wasn't a bit of blah, blah, blah. I wasn't a fan of the Retrobit RES Plus, but I'm willing to give them a shot on these cartridges. I think it could be kind of cool. So like I said, I'm looking forward to a couple of these. Got my pre-orders in, but the nice thing with Amazon, they don't charge you nothing until they ship. So if you pre-order anything through Amazon, just keep that in mind. If you change your thoughts on it, you can always cancel it. Just make sure you cancel it before it's shipped. That way you don't get charged. So appreciate you guys watching. Drop a comment down below. What kind of collections would you like to see? I know what I would like to see. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future, but what do you think about these? What would you like to see? What should have been on some of these? Like especially that Data East Classic collection. What do you think? What do you feel? Really do appreciate you guys stopping in, checking this out. Smash that like, hit that notification bell, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Check out my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. Super Nintendo Classic Edition being given away. What else? A bunch of stuff, man. Bunch of stuff. Hard drive, bunch of cool stuff. So peep that out for sure. And with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Boom!